Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be discussing how to maintain your physique while you are busy. But before we get into that, my name is Noah. I am the founder of Get Her Done Fitness, and I made it my mission to help all young men get the body and confidence you've always wanted. And I'm currently hosting a free video training where I'm showing you guys how to do exactly that. I'm showing you the exact copy-paste system that I've learned and used in the past few years that is going to help you to make the quickest, best, and easiest transformation possible in just 12 weeks. And I've been through all the ups and downs and trial and error so that you don't have to. So if you want the quickest, simplest, and easiest way to gain the muscle you've always wanted, go down below and click that first link to watch that free video training. Let's hop into the meat and beans of this video. Today we're going to be discussing how to maintain your physique while you are busy, okay? And I get it because for a lot of people, including myself, there are very busy times in your life where it is really, really difficult to squeeze in that training session or to make sure that you're eating right or to get the right foods in your system because you simply just don't have enough time in a day. Like if only we had 25 hours in the day, just that extra hour, right? And so I totally get it. I think the secret to maintaining your physique is always just keeping that baseline, right? So you want to have that baseline that you never, ever falter on, right? You want to have that baseline that never changes. So ideally, you want to go above and beyond, right? You want to do everything that you need to do and do it every single day, right? And never miss out on that. That is what you're going for. You're going for that above and beyond all the time. That's what you're always striving for. But if you just get past that baseline, that's acceptable. But you never, ever dip below that baseline. So in other words, when you're not busy, right, or when you do have the time, those are the most important times for when you can put in the most amount of work. That's when you can train the hardest. That's when you can eat the hardest, at least if you're trying to gain muscle or you're trying to bulk, which for a lot of you that are watching this, I assume that's the case. So that's when you're going to want to eat the hardest. That's when you're going to train the hardest. That's when you're going to go really hard. And then that makes it so that when you have those times where you are not able to go as hard because you simply just don't have enough time because, yeah, it usually does take a little bit more time to put in that extra effort. You can still go in and keep that baseline. So I'm going to give you guys an example because me, myself, I know exactly what this is like because I just have a lot going on right now. Let's just say that. And so normally I would go to the gym about 5 days a week and I would do push, pull, shoulders, then push, pull, legs, right? That was 6 days a week that I would train. But then I had to cut it down to 5 days because I just simply didn't have enough time. And so that would mean that I wouldn't train on Sunday and Monday, or I wouldn't train on Saturday and Sunday. But either way, though, I was training about 5 days a week. But in doing so, what I did is I compressed my training sessions down. And so instead of going in for, an hour and a half, 6 days a week, it meant that I had to go in for about an hour for only 5 days a week. But that just means that I just needed to push a little bit harder during those training sessions so that I could still get in the same amount of volume, but still get in that volume without sacrificing my rest in between sets and whatnot, and just that little bit of extra time that you're going to have to get more rest, so then you can push harder. So I was still pushing really hard, but I just lightened up the weight a bit so that I could do more reps and rest less. And so ideally, I wanted to train less reps, more weight, have a little bit more rest. But in having less time, it was more beneficial to lower the weight a little bit. And instead of doing 5 to 8 reps, I was doing a good solid train to failure 12 rep set, and then I would rest for a minute and then I could do that again, right? And so this still gave me a good amount of volume. This still gave me a good workout. I was still sore from it, and that's how I know, as if I'm really sore. I was still sore from it, and it just made it so that I could still get in that good amount of volume, still train hard, but I could do it in less time. So you have to compress things down, right? And just don't sacrifice the quality of it, but instead sacrifice the rest time, sacrifice the amount of reps you do, the amount of weight that you do, right? Just do a little bit less, and then in the end, it's going to mean more because then you're actually able to get in that full amount of work in a shorter amount of time. So in short, with the gym in specific, you want to compress your training sessions down, one, and then two, when you do have the time, that just means you have to go even harder. That means that those are the times that you really need to push hard. You can add a little bit more weight, you can do it a little bit harder, right? And you got to use that time. Like, that time is so valuable. And as you get busier, you start to realize just how valuable your time is. Instead of just kind of dragging things out, and wasting a lot of time spending it on your phone, whatever, you realize when you have a little amount of time just how important it is. And so don't take it for granted when you do have it. When you do have it, you should still utilize it, and utilize it to the most extent, because after it's gone, you're not going to get it back. And then when it comes to your diet and how you're eating, I think this is pretty straightforward, because you got to remember that calories are calories, right? And so if you are bulking and you need to get in your full amount of calories every single day, and you got to hit your calorie mark, because for people who are cutting or trying to lose weight, or they don't really care too much about like maintaining their mass, I guess you could say, or trying to put on more mass even, they're not really going to care. They're like, well, I didn't eat lunch, it's fine, right? Well, for those of us who are bulking, it's like that is a big deal. You can't miss lunch, you can't miss breakfast, you can't miss that meal, because that just means that's more calories that you're going to have to somehow squeeze in later in the day, which if you've tried to do that, you know that it's hard. And I know that I've done it, and I know that it sucks trying to get in that last 1,000 calories that you're missing. Like, trying to get in an extra 1,000 calories before you go to bed is not easy. Usually means a lot of milk or a lot of fast food, because that's pretty high in calories. And then you got to go out to get the fast foods, and that's even more time. And then if you're busy and you got to get going to bed, it's like, I totally get it. I've totally been there. So I'm here to tell you right now that the biggest thing with being busy and getting in your calories is actually going to be not missing any meals, right? Even if it's just like a little meal, even if your lunch is small, just don't miss lunch. Don't miss breakfast. Don't miss dinner. Like, get in those 3 meals, and then of course your other food. But the more meals that you skip out and then you think, I'm going to get in those calories later, the more it's not going to happen. Because I'll tell you what, because if you get in that 400 calorie lunch, if normally you have a 1,000 calorie lunch, a good 1,000 calorie meal sounds pretty normal for when you're bulking, right? So say that you're able to just barely squeeze in like a 400 calorie lunch. That's fine. It's better to squeeze in that 400 calorie lunch than to skip out on it. And you want to know why? Because then what's going to happen is that at the end of the day, because 400 calories of food when you're bulking and you've been bulking, it really isn't a lot. And then you realize just how little it is, and how easy it is to eat. And so what's going to happen is at the end of the night, you're still not going to want to eat. You're still not going to want to get in those calories. You're still not going to have that huge appetite, probably, or at least I'm assuming so, right? And so if you get in that 400, that's going to mean that's only an extra 600 that they have to get in tonight, instead of if you just skip out on it and think, well, I'll just get it in tonight. And then that's a whole extra 1,000 calories that you have to get in at night. So instead of getting in 600 calories at the end of the night, you have to get in 1,000 calories at the end of the night. And like I said, it doesn't really matter what you eat during the day. When it gets to that certain time, it's like you really just don't want to eat. It doesn't matter if you've had a lot. It doesn't matter if you haven't had a lot. You just don't want to eat at that time. So use the times that you do want to eat and that you do have that little sliver of time to get those calories in. And then the times where you don't want to get it in, you don't have to get it in, or you don't have to get in as much. It makes it easier, right? And this is going to be the secret to maintaining your calories and whatnot while you are busy. Another thing is going to be simply just not cooking, because cooking is, if you're really busy, is going to take up a lot of time. Like, just think about how much time it takes you to go grocery shopping. So if it takes you about an hour to go grocery shopping at the beginning of the week, right? An hour to drive there, get the food, come back. It's 1 hour, okay? Which for me, that is pretty accurate because it's pretty busy where I live. And so it takes 1 hour to go grocery shopping. And then if you split that up into all the days of the week, so let's just round it from 7 days down to 6 days, because then it makes the math easier. So say that's 10 minutes per day of grocery shopping, because it was 60 minutes for the whole week. So that's going to be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, right? 10 minutes of grocery shopping for every single day. And then on top of that too, you have to sit there, cut the food up, start the oven, start the stove, get the pan going, whatever. And then by the end of it took you about 30 minutes to make that meal, right? And then on top of that, the 10 minutes that it took you to actually go grocery shopping for it. And then on top of that too, the cleanup afterward is, another 10 minutes on average, okay? And so that literally took you almost a whole hour. That took you like 40, 50 minutes in total for one meal. When if you literally get in your car or put on your shoes, go walking down the street, if you go and order some food, one, it's going to take you that much less time because you literally have to go, you order it, you pay for it, you get it, and you eat it. That's it. And then you throw the garbage away, right? That's literally it. And so, yes, it still might have taken, a good 20 minutes to go out and get it. But in that time, though, you could actually be doing other things, right? Like if you're busy, you could have been doing your busy stuff while you were having the food or waiting for it or doing whatever else. So it's like you are getting all of that time back for not even that much more. Because if you think about it, if you go to some fast food joint, it's really easy to get 1,000 calories in for less than $5. I know that I've done it, right? If I go to McDonald's and I get a McChicken, is $1. If I get 3 McChickens, that's literally 1,200 calories and $6. Super cheap. That's a really, really solid amount of calories for a meal for bulking. And the last thing that is going to help you to be able to not lose your progress while you are busy is going to be consuming caffeine. I mean, I think this one kind of goes without being said, because it's like, well, if you're tired and you got to go to the gym, instead of taking a nap, you should probably just take some caffeine and go to the gym, right? So caffeine is going to be a huge help in making sure that you still get in your training sessions and still are able to go throughout your day, maintain your progress, go and train hard, go and eat right. If you just have a little bit of caffeine in your system to kind of perk you up and keep you awake so that you can go throughout the whole day and then finally go crash at the end of the night and do it all again the next day. Hope you guys found this information useful. If you never want to miss a new video, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Always remember to get her done.